right there. Right there.
Probably like the 8th or 9th round.
Too more nervous, just a little anxious, maybe.
Like jittery.
Gervonta Davis has just shocked everyone by refusing to show up at the press conference for his match with Frank Martin. Davis was nowhere to be seen for the grand arrivals in Las Vegas. Gervonta's trainer Calvin Ford was present in front of the large audience and apologized to all the fans who came to see Davis. He told them that Gervonta was going to make up for it with his performance during the actual fight. He said, "I want to apologize to the fans that he can't make it at this moment because he's been delayed, but we're going to make it up to you all fight night. Trust what I'm saying to y'all. Y'all want to see this performance that he's going to put on for the fans." Ford says that they've been waiting for this fight for a while. Gervonta Davis hasn't been in the ring since February last year, where he defeated Ryan Garcia by knocking him out in the 7th round. He has also faced several challenges in his personal life. Ford says that now they want to come back and put on an impressive fight for the fans.
We'll be back in business, y'all. You know, we've been waiting for this for a while. It's been a while since we've been in the ring. So we just want to come out and put on a great performance for the fans. It's all about the fans at the end of the day.
Ford was also asked about how much Davis has improved since his last fight. He replied, "Oh, watch them at camp. It scares me. You get what I'm saying? Because the things that he's doing in his maturity, you know how you say them great ones that can read the feel real good. So when he get in that ring, I watched and listened to people's conversation, listened to what's going on, and he's real focused." Unlike Gervonta, his opponent Frank Martin was present at the press conference in Las Vegas. The interviewer asked him how he felt about the fight, and Martin seemed to be pretty confident. He mentioned that his goal was to beat Gervonta and that he's here to take over the sport. Frank said, "I'm feeling good. You know, we've been training for a while. I'm locked in, I'm focused, you know. The whole goal was to come out here, you know, and beat him. I'm ready to take the spot, and I'm here for a reason, you know. I ain't here just to be here. I'm here to take this shit over." So what makes Frank so sure that he can beat Tank Davis? Is there anything that sets him apart from all the others that have fought against the WBA lightweight champion? Martin feels that he is unique and has everything a fighter needs. "Cause I'm different, you know. I got some things that, you know, I got speed, I got power, I got, you know, IQ. I feel like I got it all, you know what I mean? You're all gonna see. When it's time to bite down, the world going to see." A lot of the discussion leading up to this match has been about the time when these two fighters sparred with each other. Back when Gervonta Davis was part of Mayweather Promotions, he had a sparring session with Martin. Frank was asked to clarify what happened. "You know, it was just sparring. We got a fight Saturday. We got this fight Saturday, you know. I'm going to whoop his ass. You know, I'm going to pull out. I'm going to whoop his ass. So the sparring doesn't matter, you know. That's old. That's years ago. We got Saturday to show who's who, you know, Saturday night." So what exactly has Davis been up to while he was skipping the press conference? Boxing account on X. Danny shared a clip that appears to show Gervonta going on a run in Vegas. Boxing fans think that he might be trying to lose some weight before the fight. Davis has been training very hard for this fight. He is determined to make a strong comeback and retain his championship. He said regarding his opponent Frank Martin, is tough. He's fast, strong, in his prime, he's hungry, and he's coming to win. He's a great opponent. He's going to be champion one day, just not June the 15th. Now let's hear what the boxing pros and experts have to say. How are they expecting this fight to go down, and who do they predict to win? Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn, whose team recently got whitewashed in the 5 vs 5 competition against promoter Frank Warren, predicts that it will be a very easy fight for Davis. He praises Martin as a good fighter, but doesn't expect him to be able to do much in this match.
Rico and in America as well.
Tank versus Frank Martin?
Yeah, good. I mean, it's all right. It's an easy fight for Tank, but Frank Martin's a good little fighter. You know, don't think he's going to do mad numbers, but yeah, it's a good fight.
Thanks.
Pro boxer Ryan Garcia has been going back and forth regarding his pick to win this fight. He seems to be conflicted as he has a good relationship with both these fighters. He previously fought with Gervonta Davis, so he knows about his skills, but he has also been training with Frank Martin. Garcia is close with Frank Martin, as the two are stablemates. He claims to have shared his past experience with Martin and is telling him about the moves that he can use against Davis. When he was first asked, Garcia chose Martin as the favorite to win. "I'm gonna go out on a limb, I'm saying Frank, because I've been talking to Frank and I've been telling him all the moves and I've been in the ring with Tank. And I'm not saying I've got no blueprint, I ain't saying nothing. I just see, I know what I know. In the ring, I've seen some things and I'm just giving Frank game. Now whatever Frank does is what Frank's gonna do, and Frank deserves all the credit. And I really believe Frank can pull this off, and I'm pulling for him. And don't be surprised if Frank wins, is what I'm going to say." However, Ryan later caused confusion by making a complete change in his pick. He posted on his social media that he expects Gervonta to win within 7 rounds, and he would even bet a lot of money on it. He tweeted, "I will bet $1 million that Gervonta will KO Frank Martin within 7 rounds. I love Frank, but the truth is the truth." Frank Martin didn't respond well to this. He said that by changing his prediction, Ryan showed that he was fake, and Frank doesn't get along with such people.
He was cool, you know, he was cool, but like me, I don't care what he say, you know, I wouldn't get on, and
talk down or, like he went from, Frank, from his first conference, Frank could win, to Frank gonna get, I bet $1 million against him. Like, that shit's fake to me. Like, I don't fuck with people like that. That's fake. I don't care if it's promoting, building, that shit's fake. So I ain't with all that. Like, I'm the type of person, I rock with who I rock with, and that's why my circle be small how it is, because it's fake. Like, even with him saying that, I still ain't going down talking, bash his name. It is what it is. Let him lose his money.
Is that kind of what the tweet following when you put out like "ain't no friends" and this shit? It's all kind of fake. That tweet wasn't geared directly towards him, but it has something. He was a part of that.
Garcia isn't the only one that has been giving mixed signals regarding this fight. Floyd Mayweather, who has been in a beef with Gervonta Davis recently, also had an interesting response. It's boxing. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. It's boxing. Mayweather has previously always favored Davis, but he was refusing to make any clear prediction this time. When asked about the type of fight he was expecting, he said, "I can't speak on nobody. I'm not here to speak on nobody else's fighting style or nobody's fighting ability. The world of boxing is what it is. I mean, you just don't ever know what can happen in this sport. I mean, we take losses every day." American boxing trainer and fight commentator Teddy Atlas did a breakdown of the fight on his podcast with co-host Ken Rideout. Ken started by saying that tank fighting always brings out a huge crowd. He feels that there is a lot of hype and drama for this match, especially because of all the trash talking between the two fighters.
Minus 725 favorite, Frank Martin plus 420. Looking forward to this one. I mean, certainly not without plenty of hype and drama from the fighters talking crap to each other, but looking forward to seeing Tank in action. What are you looking for in this one?
I'm looking for...
Ken asked Atlas what he is looking forward to in this fight. Atlas said that he was expecting it to have a lot of good technique and that it could get explosive. While he considers them both to be good technical fighters, he ranks Tank to be one of the top 5 in all of boxing. Atlas said, "I'm looking for technically a really solid fight. You're always looking for something, possibly explosive with Tank Davis. He is that good a puncher, but I'm looking for counter-punching too. I'm looking for good technique. Both these guys are solid technical fighters. Tank Davis is in my top 5. Pound for pound, in all of boxing. He's that good. He's that good in every area. Inside fighting, outside fighting, counterpunching, being aggressive without being impatient, without being reckless, using his legs if he has to find a key to the door. Where he can't figure a guy out, he can move and use the ring to, to get angles, to give himself all the options if he needs those other options." Atlas feels that Tank has the skills that allow him to succeed at the top level. He has a unique ability to figure out his opponents. Atlas also claims that Tank has the ability to stay calm, no matter what environment he is in.
Go with the solid technique that always allows him to use those skills at the highest level. And he's got the mind in the ring to figure it out, the patience, the ability to see things, to be calm in an uncalm environment, all of that. He's that good. And he's that.
The main difference that Atlas finds between Gervonta and Martin is power. He finds Frank Martin to be just as talented as Davis on many things, but he doesn't have the same power. However, he still thinks that we can't count out Martin, who has an opportunity to prove himself. When comparing the two, he said, "He's that good and he's that dangerous, because with all of it, he does it with power. Frank Martin is everything, just about everything I just mentioned with Davis, without the power. And not too many people have that power. Punchers are born, they're not made, and not everyone is born with that kind of power. But Frank Martin, don't sleep on this guy. This guy hasn't done it on the stage with the level that Tank has done it. Now he's going to get a chance to show if he's capable of doing that, if he is that guy." When making his final prediction, Atlas went with Gervonta Davis, who he calls a complete fighter. To put it bluntly, he thinks Davis is better at everything he does compared to Martin. At the end of the day, I like Tank Davis to win this fight. The reason I like him is, as I already said, he's such a complete fighter. He's fighting a guy who's a very complete fighter, but the difference is the physicality. Anything that Frank Martin can do, Tank Davis can do better. That's as simple as I can put it. He goes on to say that Davis is physically stronger, and his punches are harder. Even if Frank Martin counterpunches, they just won't have the same impact.
Punches harder. So, yeah, he'll counterpunch, Martin will counterpunch, but it won't have the effect Tank Davis's will. Yeah, Martin will go to the body. It won't have the advantage or the effect possibly that Tank Davis will. So, in that way, I like him. And and also
Frank Martin's former coach, Coach Jerome, also had a lot to say about this fight. He expects it to be a very competitive match and says that Frank will be at the top of his game. He claims to have been present when the two were sparring years ago. Well, the fight is going to play out drastically good. When I say drastically good, it's going to be a very competitive sport. I mean fight, because the simple fact is, Frank is bringing that A game. You know what I'm saying? All the capping that, you know what I'm saying, that the people were doing about the fight. Talking about them being there when they sparred. None of them were there. Me and Floyd, we pulled them out. We separated them in that ring. We are the reason why the fight's even taking place to this day. You know what I'm saying? Jerome warns that Martin will absolutely dominate Davis, and mentions that he was surprised by Davis not showing up to the press conference.
But Frank is going to bring that A game. He's going to open up a can of ass with me. Now, for Tank to even... I'm surprised.
Despite this, Jerome has a lot of respect for Davis for accepting this fight. He admires him as a fighter, but he feels that now it's Frank Martin's time. He said, "But I commend Tank for accepting the fight. It's a good thing that he accepted that fight because we're going to take that cone bread." I got much props for Tank. I like him as a fighter. A champion and a people's person. You know what I'm saying? So I take nothing from him. I give him the utmost respect for taking this fight. But it's a new day, Frank, the Ghost. Martin, as I told you a long time ago, what was it, 4 years ago? 4 years ago, I told you Frank was coming. Jerome was then asked why he feels Tank didn't show up to the event. He admits that every fighter needs some time to himself and suggests that Tank might have been mentally preparing himself for this huge fight. Well, you know, sometimes the fighter needs to ask himself, what's the that he got himself into? You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? The fans can't fight for you. The coaches can't fight for you. You and that fighter are in the ring yourself, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta bring your A game. And for him to not come here, he needs some time to himself. Everybody needs some time to himself, and that's what Tank did. He's a different type of breed, you know what I'm saying? He's a dog, just like Frank is that dog, you know what I'm saying? Jerome went on to say that this will be the best fight of the year.
And that fight right there is going to be the best fight of the year. So if you're real about it, you come to watch that fight. Pay-per-view, come to MGM, come to Vegas. What goes on in Vegas, it goes worldwide.
Frank Martin has improved a lot since he trained with Errol Spence Jr. and coach Derek James. As his old coach, Jerome was asked to comment on this. Jerome says that Frank made the right decision and he will always support him. He said, "I think it's a great combination because Coach Derek is a great trainer. He's a very precision coach, a great technician, and I'm glad that Frank is working with him. I'm glad that he's working with Frank. On top of that, them two together, I believe he made the right decision. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to always be in Frank's corner. I'm going to be his family for life, his coach for life, and that's how it's going to be." But we will soon find out how much Frank's trainers have helped him as he steps in as the underdog in the fight against Gervonta Davis on June 15th. That's it for today's video. Why do you think Gervonta Davis skipped the press conference? And who do you predict to win this fight? Let us know in the comments. If you like our channel, make sure to check out some of the other videos on the screen right now.